it's amazing how God, we talk about how God works through people to give us messages. And you got to know his voice.
You have
in
to.
order to get the message.
Get the wrong message if you don't know his voice. Somebody, it's like getting the phone call. It's like getting them spam calls nowadays. You answer the wrong call and say the wrong thing. All of a sudden, all your bank account been wiped out.
Exactly.
Same thing.
Exactly.
You got to hear the right voice.
Got to hear the right voice. And he sends people to deliver his word, his message. So, and these two stories are connected. So check this out. So I get another job. Nah, wasn't what I wanted, but it was better than I had.
But you had.
So I'm moving.
There you go, moving.
I take another step.
Right,
take another step.
Right.
So I get another job. I'm like 6 months into the job.
All right.
Now I moved from mortgage. I'm in banking, and so I'm waiting on the gentleman at the teller line there, and then. And the funny part, I was a manager, but I was a glorified teller too. That's funny. That's funny. I was a manager, but I spent all the time on the teller line. But anyway, it helped me learn banking. So anyway, so as I'm helping this gentleman, I glance over a little bit, and I could see there's a older Latino lady, and she was well dressed, well kept up, and everything. Looked like she just had some class about her. And I just leaned over, I said, hey man, we'll be right with you. And she said, oh, no worries, no worries. And so after I got through with the gentleman, she comes out, I said, what can I do for you today? She says, hey, you're not gonna be here long. I said, whoa.
That right there didn't say. Again, perspective. What do
you mean?
What's getting ready to happen? I'm a bank teller. I'm in the bank. Is somebody coming in that I don't know about? Is something getting ready to go down?
Where am I? I'm thinking, what? Where am I going? Where am I going? And so she said, no, I'm sorry. She said, I'm sorry. You're going to get a better job. You're going to get a better job. And I said, oh, cool. She says, and God told me to tell you that.
Now, did you wait on her?
Yeah.
Did you have some kind of?
That's my first time meeting her.
Did you guys have some kind of conversation?
No.
Leading up to this?
No. She just walks up. And she says, I said, how can I help you? What you need? She says, you're not going to be here long.
Yeah, that didn't. That right there.
That scared me.
I'm at the window here. Exactly. How may I help you? You're not gonna be here long. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. And so she says, you're gonna get a better job. I said, oh, thank you. And she says, God told me to tell you that. And she said, and finally she said, I'm a pastor. I said, whoa, I got excited then. I said, man, he's sending me. I would go from the guy telling me the story a couple years ago, and then all of a sudden she tells me that, and I'm excited. I'm 6 months into the job. Hold on, 6 months into the job.
6 months in.
So I would see her every now and then.
Oh, she still came back.
Still came back.
Waiting for you to leave, I'm sure.
And so probably like 2 years into the job, I asked her one day, I said, hey, so when am I going? She says, hey, baby. She said, in God's time, not ours. So check it out. That was 6 months when I met her the first time, and I'll see her every now and then. Finally, about year 5, all of a sudden, 2016, I was applying for all kind of jobs, and next thing you know, I get a call from Westcom Credit Union, where I am right now. I love Westcom Credit Union. And
that was a plug for Westcom Credit Union.
Westcom Credit Union.
Elgin loves that job.
That's right. They're good people. It's people taking care of people. And so, man, I ended up getting a job. Not only did I get the job, they gave me $10,000 more than I asked for. I say, now hold on. Think about it. I said, not only did I God gave me the job, but I was able to get more money than I actually.
Than you even asked for.
And that's only God, man.
Right.
That's only God. So I'm excited. I come home and I tell my youngest son, Drew, and I told him, I said, yeah, man, I got another job, blah, blah, blah. I said, man, I sure hope I see that lady, man. The Latino lady who told me I was going to get a better job. Hope I see her. And Drew looks at me like he knew God. He looks at me and say, he looked at me and say, oh, you're going to see her. You're going to see her. I looked at him and say, dang, dude, you look like you know her. And so the next day I get to the office getting ready to give my 2-week notice, and I called my boss, but he wasn't there. So I said, okay, let me send him an email. I didn't want, give him an email 2-week notice. So I said, hey, when you get an opportunity, give me a call. As I hit send, I look out like this here. I look out to the ATM. There she is.
Standing at the ATM.
There she is at the ATM. I bust out there. Bust a move. I get out there. Bust a move. I get out there, and I told her, I said, you remember what you told me 5 years ago? She said, 5 years ago. She said, oh, baby, yeah, I remember. I
remember everything.
She remember everything. She said, I said, it happened. I said, it happened. And I said, thank you. And she said, more to come. I said, oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? But I say, I'm so happy that I'm seeing you, because I said, I'm telling you before I even told my boss. Gave her a hug, and next thing, as I give her a hug, as I'm giving her a hug, they say, hey, man, your boss is on the phone. I think almost like God say, you got to tell her first. She's the one I sent to give you that information. So it's amazing who God sends, and there's people that are walking this earth, man, that they got a connection, a real connection with God, where God gives them information to give to his people.
That is fascinating, because oftentimes people, and I'm sure you've had other people come up to you over the years, baby, God told me to tell you. Yeah. And you go, okay. All right. And then you have some people like this lady who come up and just say, how you doing? God told me to tell you. And you hear that, and you kind of go, a different feeling. And that's something when you can tell when it's really God versus just nonsense. Because there's so many people who say that. God told me to tell you God. Well, we can all talk to God. Yeah. God talks to each one of us. And sometimes, I'm not saying it's what happened to you. Yeah. But sometimes when we're not listening carefully and God is trying to convey a message, he sends people, circumstances, and situations to get our attention. Because sometimes he directly says, go do X, Y, Z. And we decide, I don't want to do that. Or I'm not doing that. Or I'm not sure that was God. So God will say, okay, let me send you something to solidify I'm talking to you. For you, it was that lady. But more importantly is you heard her speaking for God on his behalf. She gave you a message. And this isn't unusual. This has been going on since the Old Testament. You have Old Testament prophets. That was their responsibility, to go out and give people messages from God. They were God's messengers. In the New Testament, you have the same thing. You have people come along and give messages from God. And I don't know why we think that would have stopped today. Yeah. People still come along and give messages from God. However, as I said, there are many people who say they heard from God and they want to give you a message. And we shouldn't be listening to everybody's message, because sometimes, but if you are following God and you are trying, I'm not going to say do right, because I'm going to be honest, none of us do right. But if we're following God and trying to walk in his shoes, walk in the shoes of Jesus, if we're really trying and we're putting forth effort and we're trying to hear God, God will make himself known. And if that's what you're trying to do, when he does come along, you may hear it in a radio song, you may hear it on television. The message is for you. There's different ways, as you know, we call them road signs. You get road signs when you pray about something and you're waiting for an answer. And nowadays nobody just takes that first answer for the answer. It's like, well, if God wanted me to hear that, he'll give me a sign. You get another sign. And some people don't believe that. You have even some pastors out there who say, well, I don't believe that. That's not the way God works. How do we know how God works? Exactly. We always trying to put God in this box. We want God to sit in the box and do what we say, because we have our vision of God and how God operates, opposed to listening by reading the Bible. God tells us who he is and how he operates and what he's going to do. But we take that and we put it inside of a box and we go, God wouldn't do that. God would do anything he wants to do, whenever he wants to do it. We forget that. And if God wants to have someone come speak to someone else, he'll do that. If he wants a rock to speak to you, he'll do that.
He's done it.
But I mean, I've heard things, you know, I prayed, got answers, didn't react. I've heard music, a bunch of people can be around me and I go, huh, that's it. Didn't react. I read, oh, God's still talking. Didn't react. Things just keep popping up. Now people say, well, that's just your imagination. No, that's God. That's God. And he keeps coming. I mean, I don't know why. I mean, God did people like that in the Old Testament. He would come and say, okay, I want you to do this. Not me. Moses was one of those chief people. Not me, God, because I stuttered too much. You're not listening.
Yeah.
This is what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Not me, God, because you don't want me. I mean, I'm nobody. You're not listening. God keeps coming. He don't stop. And whatever he puts on you in your life, whatever he wants you to do for him, he don't stop.
You know what I caught while you were talking? You said that if he did it back then, why wouldn't he not do it now? And because here's the thing. It says God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. So why would he do it back then and not send people today? It doesn't make sense.
He hasn't changed.
He hasn't changed.